Hey, everybody. You probably want to hear about the British sea captain. He was in the South Pacific on a long voyage. But it was after sailing ship days. They were moving right along. However, it was not a big boat, and they were transporting a large group of people. So he pulled in to replenish the water supply at a remote island. And he found there were a tribe, this was back in the 20th century, and there was a tribe of unknown peoples on this unexplored, just barely on the chart. Not well charted, these waters. He thought he better be careful. The people might be volatile. Most of these islands had a sort of king. So he came ashore in the ship's boat, being rowed by men that impressed the folks. They actually ran and got their king themselves, who came to the shore in all his finery. Well, he offered the king a gift. His men carried it up to their village, a large brass bedstead. The king was extremely happy. And a second gift that had been in the captain's cabin, a large brass chair. He told the king it was a throne, which would make him very stately and wonderful. And the king was overjoyed. He was very happy with both the bed and the throne. However, he lived in a small grass hut. And they didn't both really fit in the hut. It left no room for anything. So the bed was wonderful, and he and his wife both fit perfectly. So he tied the chair up to the rafters to keep it out of the way for the moment. Now, that night, in the middle of the night, this brass chair, this large, heavy brass chair, came crashing down upon the sleeping king and his wife. They woke up injured and greatly alarmed. The moral of this story is people who live in grass houses shouldn't stow thrones. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed our little tale. There's another tale about another British captain. I can tell it here, and I can always cut the video in half and make two if it's just too lengthy. This other British sea captain noticed smoke coming from what his chart told him was a deserted island. There were no inhabitants and no native tribes. So he pulled in to see what was happening there. And he found there a little hut on the beach. Down the beach, 100 yards, another little hut. At one of the huts where the fire was burning was an old Jewish man. How he got there, the captain had no idea. There must have been a shipwreck once, and he drifted to this place. He asked the little man if there were more people on the island. And he said no. He was the only survivor of the shipwreck. He was all alone. There was no one else there. So the captain wondered about this and said to him, "Please tell me, what is this other little hut down the beach?" I will cut off the end. There were 3 huts. There was the fire in the hut by the fire. There was nearby another little hut. And then 100 yards along, there was that 3rd hut. Yes. That's right. And when the captain asked the man, "Who else is here?" and he said, "No one, only myself," he turned to one of these other huts. This hut Here, a few yards down the beach here. This first hut, he says, noticing there's more than one. There's at least two. There could be several. Who does that belong to? What is that hut? The man says, well, it's my synagogue. I go in there to pray. The guy said, oh, I see. So and back down the beach, there's another hut. What is that place? The man says, oh, that synagogue I wouldn't step foot in. The captain rescued him nonetheless. He was a nice